Hello dear viewers, today I'd like to talk to you about a number of things which as usual are not connected except that they all occurred to me as amusing today. Firstly, the projected designation of origin status of various foods and wines and so forth in the EU. Now, this is, for those of you who don't live in the EU, which to my understanding is most of you, any food which, is of a cultural origin, like, say champagne or cheddar cheese, gets the status saying, now we're not going to let anyone call this things cheddar cheese unless it's made, in cheddar England in the traditional way with no sterilization or anything like that. Otherwise, it must be labeled imitation cheddar cheese and they get stamped on it and stuff. And I have to wonder, so you're basically saddling the town of Cheddar with like all the cheddar cheese production in the world. Otherwise, people like imitation cheddar. No, I want the real thing. And in other continents, it's like imitation cheddar. Where's the real thing? They're searching through the racks for cheese. There's no real cheddar cheese. What the hell? So I'm not entirely sure it's the best idea. I mean, yes, it protects a cultural identity, but on the other hand, well, as I just said, basically you're consigning the town of Cheddar to everyone making cheese for the rest of their lives, and that just doesn't sound particularly feasible or fun. I mean, you see it, Dad, I don't want to make cheese. You live in Cheddar, you make cheese, but I want to be a scientist. No, you make cheese. I mean, that would just suck. Secondly, for people who play first-person shooters, tell me I'm not the only one that's noticed this, but no one in first-person shooters has feet, right? Like Metroid Prime, I'm playing through Metroid Prime right now, and I looked straight down, like as far down as I possibly can, and apparently Samus does not have feet. You're basically just a floating gun. You'd think they'd, show your lower body and stuff. And this is a lot of other games do this too. James Bond, Painkiller, The Conduit, Portal. None of them have feet. I mean, sure, if you show them in a mirror, they'll take great pains to, reflect your body properly, but for the most part, you don't have feet, and I have to wonder, why? Would it kill them to put in a tiny detail like that? Because, well, Samus' suit looks pretty cool, and I'd like to get a look at those boots once in a while, especially when I'm jogging. I want to see exactly what happens with the space jump. Right? Is it the boots that go off, or is it the backpack, or what? And then there's a huge problem I encounter on a weekly basis, at least. In a state of absolute fatigue, I tend to mistake, let's see, please tell me that this isn't I'm not the one that this happens to, but I've had to deal with mistaking regularly my contact lens solution and my toothpaste. I pull my toothbrush out and my contact lens, wait, wrong. Or worse, pour toothpaste into my contact lens case and I wake up the next morning and go, hey, my contact lenses are green and, fuck, they sting. And, well, if you've gotten toothpaste in your eye, it's not fun. Or just this morning, I almost grabbed my melatonin supplements instead of my multivitamins, and I was thinking to myself, wait a sec, if I take these, then I'm going to fall asleep in 2 hours, and I think I have class then. So, and then I grabbed my multivitamins, and I still took out 2, because I take 2 melatonin pills, and I only want multivitamins. Like, wait a sec, I don't need this much iron in one day. This is ridiculous. I'm going to get poisoning from this. So, I don't know. Does anyone else get that? It bothers me. And now let's see what Wikipedia's featured article is. The Diocletianic persecution was the last and most severe persecution of Christians in the Roman Empire. Ooh, this is what they do on Fox, where they throw out the Christians in the alien and they go, we who are about to die flip you off because you persecute us for being Christians. And then they set some lions on them because that's what the Romans like to do. Or, I don't know, they never do bears. I'm sort of glad I wasn't alive then, because they're like, hey, yeah, you got to get mauled by a lion for being Christian. I go, yeah, but what did I do? I'm not hurting anyone. You're a pagan. No, you're a pagan. You have multiple gods. There's just one of them, And then they argue about it, and then I nick his sword and chop his legs off or something. And then the entire Roman army comes down on my head, so maybe I shouldn't do that. But you get the idea. It sounds very unpleasant. And apparently it finally stopped when the Emperor of Rome became Christian, which was cool, because it's like, hey, we're not going to be mean to anyone anymore. And then he got popes and things, but, well, that's not such a good idea, because of the Catholic Church and Catholics. Anyway, remember this, dear viewers. If you don't win by what you learn nothing. Good day.